Let's say you're preparing for a discussion about a novel you've read. Many students often spend a lot of time on what they're going to talk about, and of course this is important, but it is equally important to prepare in terms of vocabulary and idiomatic language. How will you say what you want to say? The best thing is, of course, if you have someone to practice together with, but a lot of students, unfortunately, you discuss what you want to talk about in Norwegian, and then when you get to the hearing or the group discussion, you realize that you know what you want to say, but you don't have the vocabulary to express it in English. Now, specialized vocabulary is important. So in this case, we are talking about a discussion about literature. So then knowing different literary devices such as protagonist, turning point, point of view, and so on is very important. And then you can use pages such as this, with find definitions and examples and so on. So that's specialized vocabulary. But I also want to show you how you can use the collocation dictionary to prepare. So let's say that you have sort of found literary terms that you want to use, but you also need to prepare for using an idiomatic language and talking about the topic. So when we talk about literature, we often have to talk about the theme. So think, what do you think is an important theme? Let's say it's identity. You can then look up the central terms that you want to use in the collocation dictionary so that you can find good idiomatic expressions. So if you want to talk about how the story is about how your main character develops his identity, you see that the verbs you can use are how he creates an identity, does he establish an identity, or maybe he loses or changes his identity, or he can even conceal or hide his identity. So here you can find good expressions that you can use together with this. Search for identity, sense of identity, and so on. So you can make a little vocabulary list of words and expressions that you can use. And often when we talk about identity, there are other words that we tend to use as well. We talk maybe about challenges. So I'll look up challenge, because often when your identities form, you have to overcome certain challenges. So again, here I see adjectives that I can use together with the noun challenge. Face a challenge. Did the main character face any challenges? Here it's a verb, so it means something right different, like you challenge something. So does the main character do that in his search for his identity? Does he challenge established norms or so on? So it's all about trying to use precise language, not just in terms of specialized vocabulary, but finding these collocations, these idiomatic expressions that can help you to express yourself precisely. You can, of course, also use the bilingual dictionary. Let's say, for example, I want to say something about how my main character, and then I only know the Norwegian word, hvordan han takler utfordringer. Okay, then I look up takle. Football, no, that's not what I want. I have to go here. All right, sjøfart, no, håndtere. Handle, cope with. All right, so I can say something like the theme of the novel is identity and how the main character, the protagonist, copes with challenges that he faces throughout the book, for example. So then I've just made a sentence which has idiomatic expressions, collocations, and it's also a bit more precise and nuanced than just saying, well, it's about some challenges that he has. So use this dictionary and other dictionaries, make those vocabulary lists, and remember to practice using it alone, speak out loud, or together with somebody, but don't speak about it in Norwegian when you're preparing for a situation where you have to speak in English.